This month we have taken our show to the Columbia River Exhibition of History, Science, and Technology, better known as the Crest Museum. The museum is located at 95 Lee Boulevard, sandwiched between Jackson Sports Bar and Restaurant and the Richland Community Center.
Crest is the official tour guide for Hanford artifacts, but also aims to tell the story of the American Indians who once camped along the Columbia River, the ongoing scientific developments at Hanford, and the community's contribution to World War II. But before we head inside and look at the beautiful exhibits, we want to share with you a recent historical addition to our great city.
Richland's rich history lives on in the names of our parks, restaurants, bowling alley, and even one of our high schools. Names such as Atomic Bowl, Bombers Drive-In, Leslie Groves Park, and the Richland High School Bombers, go Rye High, are directly tied to the 1940s war effort and the work that was done at the Hanford site. But did you know that over 100 avenues, boulevards, lanes, and courts in our original government-owned community have a noble namesake?
70 years ago, a small farming town on the Columbia River became the center of world importance. December 16, 1942, a small plane circled the skies above Richland. Its passengers, A.E.S. Hall, Gilbert Church, and Lieutenant Colonel Franklin T. Matthias, surveyed the land. A site for a secret war project was being selected. At that moment, Richland would change forever. Within 3 months, Richland and the surrounding communities of White Bluffs and Hanford were served papers of eviction. Residents had no choice but to abandon their homes and make way for the secret project. In its place, a government-owned community had to be assembled to support the construction and operation of a plutonium processing plant, the substance needed in the assembly of a nuclear bomb.
I'm very proud of Richland, and I'm very, very, very concerned that our history doesn't become folklore.
Karen Miles grew up in Richland and comes from a family with deep military roots. Karen grew up on Tinkle Street, and as long as she can remember, people have teased her about the street's name. Last summer, she visited Richland City Hall to gain insight on the naming of her street and was sent to see city planner Darren Arrowsmith, who had recently completed a document that explains the Manhattan Project District Engineers and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers selected over 125 names for Richland's early streets, avenues, boulevards, lanes, and courts. Street namesakes were veterans from Revolutionary, Civil, and Spanish-American Wars and World Wars I and II. Karen also discovered that when local streets were named in the 40s and 50s, someone misspelled her street's namesake as Tinkle when it should have been Tinkell, after Lieutenant Otto Spaulding Tinkell.
The original city has a lot of character and deserves to have recognition. And we can't ask the city to change the street signs or the postals or the service to change addresses. So why don't we put a marker in? And then it just evolved, and I thought, we have to do something about this.
Karen organized a team consisting of AMSVETS Post 397, Cascade Sign and Design, and Tri-City Fence that, in honor of every veteran whose name is on these streets as of 1948, a marker of recognition will be placed and their contributions will not be forgotten. Each marker stands 4 feet tall and displays a biography of the veteran it is memorializing. Every marker has been placed on private property, and all funds for the signs and their installations have come from private donors. The goal was to place 1 marker at the beginning and end of each street, 1 marker per court, and as many as 3 or more markers on main arterials like Swift Boulevard. Currently, Karen and her team have placed 201 markers in Richland, including 9 at historic Rest Haven Cemetery in honor of original streets that no longer exist. And while she is still fundraising for the opportunity to place duplicate signs, her hard work has turned her dream into reality.
It's impressive that one individual's vision can be brought into reality like this in such a short time. In our more cynical society today, we sometimes think we're lost in a sea of 300 million people and one person can't impact things very much. But that's not true. Look at what one individual has done for our community in this respect, and this will be a lasting thing through future generations.
Karen told us this project has been an absolute labor of love for her, and since Karen has pledged to assume responsibility for stolen and or damaged signs, fundraising for the Historic Street Signs project is ongoing. To donate, call AmVets or Karen Miles at the numbers at the bottom of your screen. A celebration of the Historic Street Project is scheduled for Saturday, January 26th, beginning at 1 p.m. at the Richland High School Auditorium. The event is free to the public and will feature guest speakers and music from the Richland High Choir and Jazz Band. We hope to see you all there.